Okay. I believe we're live. Let's take a look around, see what Steam thinks. Not Steam, see what Twitch thinks. Twitch says we're live. Good stuff. Okay, so in this stream, we're going to try to demo my personal fleet of spaceships that I built. They're all part of a theme. So these are all sea creatures. And to start with, we're going to start with the fleet carrier. Pay no mind to the small ship underneath it, but this is the Manta aircraft carrier. This is designed to carry all the other ships and has docks for, I don't know, 70 ships in here. I had plans to make a 3D printer at the back, but that did not work. Oh, it did work. I built the smaller one up here. I was going to build, this is the projector here, but I was going to build, what was it, a set of automatic welders to weld up whatever blueprint, to print the ship, essentially. This is powered by 6 large reactors at the rear. This has 2 jump drives, I think, stacked. Oh no, it's got 3. So it's got 2 down there, 2 up here, 1 up there, 5 jump drives. I kept adding things. Walls of batteries for days at the back. Refineries with modules, lots of O2 storage, although not as much as there is hydrogen storage. This is a hydrogen-based ship. It is enormous and heavy, and it depletes the hydrogen supply at a great clip. So if I get in here, I think there's gravity, yes. If you run along the side here, there's cargo all the way down. More hydrogen tanks, more cargo. Let me go back down. There is no gravity, apparently. Okay, so if we sneak up here, towards a little bit toward the rear, there is the main storage. This is a significant amount of storage. And this is replicated on the other side. Most of the ship is mirrored. This is gyro banks that are required to even move the thing. And then if we go down underneath here, just this, oh, it's a spotlight. Can I get up through here? Yes. If we run back out here, the main hangar takes up most of the ship. So most of the ship is hollow. We've got lighting for all of the hangars. Each hangar comes equipped with, well, each of the forward hangars comes equipped with 6 connectors. These are replicated top and bottom, left and right. These stairs and ramps are for getting up into the walkways. There's a walkway at the back here. If I can get into it, hold on. So walkway at the back here that is supposed to let me walk up. I guess I didn't. I closed it off. This is supposed to let you walk all the way up to the spine of the ship, where you can kind of see down and then walk up into the cockpit. So back here we have living quarters, med bay, cryopods, room for more. The interior is not completely finished, but considering the size of this ship, I wanted to post it anyway so that someone could have some room to add to it if they wanted to change something. This is the main flight seat. From here you should be able to see almost 180 degrees out the front. And overhead. Blue lighting for mood. Then outside, if we take a look, this is powered by large hydrogen thrusters all over it. 12 on top, 12 on the bottom, 8 on the front. And if we take a look back here, in the rear. Which are nicely hidden so that you can't really see them from above. Color pattern is supposed to mimic the colors of a manta ray, obviously, because that's what the shape is too. We have turrets all over the top. That's 5 on top, and I believe should have 4 on the bottom. Right, because we don't have the center one on the bottom. It's just the sides. Floodlights on the front, illuminating the hangar and all ships that come in. Hangar does not close. This is a static shape there. Then there are connectors on the wings, top and bottom. So that's 4 connectors on the outside. Things can connect to. Turret there. Out. And then let's pop inside and I'll show you how this runs. It does not move very fast. The acceleration on this ship is abysmal. But it does move. Of course, this is empty, but cargo is not going to make this much heavier. Most of the weight is the armor. Takes forever to stop. Moves well enough for a ship of its size and for its purpose, and does rotate, albeit very slowly. Let me double check the gyros are set to full. Yes, they are set to full. Yeah, so this does not rotate very quickly. But considering how many gyros we have 184 gyroscopes. So considering all that, it's not too bad. Okay, I'm going to back it up toward the sun here. While we're waiting for that, let's go over what we have built in here. 3 gravity generators, which if I turn on gravity range, so if you see that, the entirety of the ship is covered, the entirety of the hangar is covered. There's some, yeah, so they line up perfectly in the center. Turn those off. Turn off gravity range. Okay. Now, we look at others here. We have 2 refineries, 2 assemblers, 5 O2 generators, 12 oxygen tanks, 44 large hydrogen tanks, large grid, 14 large cargo containers, and 6 cryo. And there you have it, a large fleet carrier for a large fleet. In terms of connectors, we have 64 connectors for docking ships. 4 of those are on the outside, the rest are inside on that, in that hangar. Now that this has stopped moving, we're going to leave this running. We're going to spawn in the next ship. This is not the order I made the ships in. This is just an arbitrary order that I have chosen today. See if I can find it. Here we have ship number 2. The Angelfish Freighter. This one is painted to match the colors of Gil from Finding Nemo. If we run in here, I'm going to line it up with the other ships so you can see. This one has 3 seats. Main flight seat is the forward center one. Now, the Angelfish Freighter is able to dock in the Manta. But to do that, you have to go in sideways. It does fit, I have done it, it does dock. There is room for multiple other ships in there with him, but only one of these at a time. This is a, well, like the name suggests, it's a freighter. It transports cargo. It has 5 large cargo containers, and then it has its own 2 refineries, 2 assemblers, 4 hydrogen tanks, O2, everything. So this is a self-supported ship. Minus mining, you can't actually mine with this because it doesn't have a drill. But it's a decent starter ship. It is significantly larger than you'd like for a starter ship, but it is self-sustaining, so it is useful for that. I designed this to be a starter ship for survival, but I made it too big. This was the first ship I made from this fleet. This is hydrogen powered, 3 large hydrogen thrusters at the back, 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom, which you can kind of see in the bottom there. 2 large and 3 small on the front, and then 6 small on each side. And his gills. Okay, so we're going to pop out and look at the interior here. So you see the cockpit on this model is has orange lighting to match Gil's eyes. If we go along the back here, we have an airlock. There is there was a programmable block that you could use to set this to close the hangar, to close the airlock doors, because this is not pressurized, this room here. We've got turrets for protection, and then these connectors on the side are on pistons and they extend to dock with the station. There are connectors down here for docking with the station, and there is one connector on the bottom also for station. And this landing gear helps you stay in place once you've docked with the station. We've got one landing light there. We've got lights on the front. And then 6 turrets, 3 on each side. Kind of spread out. This also has an antenna buried in there in the top fin. Forgot to color that one connector, so it's still blue from the original paint job. And if we go back inside, we can see the rest of the interior. Looks like gravity's turned on in here. Okay, so there's the cockpit again. If you go down the stairs, you'll find the 4 cryo chambers. If you go down some more, you will find the 2 med bays. I did this for symmetrical purposes, but you could just build one of these. You could tear the other one down and just put a conveyor there instead. You do need to connect them so that both sides have full connectivity to the rest of the supplies. Hydrogen at the front. Gyroscopes there, refineries in the middle here, and if we go out this door, 2 large reactors, plenty of power, 1 jump drive. If we go down some more, we have an empty room that I haven't found a purpose for yet. Someone suggested that I make this into a hangar, but I have no way to connect this to the outside. So that's unfortunate. This is main cargo, and then this is more hydrogen, air vent. And each of these rooms is airtight separately. Green mood lighting in here for the reactor. This is vented to the outside because I didn't close doors upstairs. This also has the assemblers behind these modules. Here we have H2O2 generation, oxygen tanks, everything you need. So if we hop right back in here, I'm going to back this ship off to the side. This has decent maneuverability, as you'd expect from a freighter. A mid-sized freighter should be able to move. But it only has 1 jump drive, so it has to recharge between jumps. Unlike the carrier, which can make 5 jumps sequentially. Albeit shorter jumps. So, empty. This is 1.8 million kilos, which is 1.8 thousand tons metric. which is not too heavy for a freighter, but it's a good sized ship as compared to, if we pop back in here, this should tell me this is 22.8 thousand tons as opposed to 1.8 thousand tons. That's significant. The hollow carrier is very much bigger than the other. It's 11 to 15, somewhere in that range. 11 to 15 times heavier than the angelfish. Okay, so if we spawn in our next one, our next ship is going to be the Swordfish. The Swordfish is another very large grid ship. This is a strike cruiser, a large strike cruiser. I still have to make modifications to the front to give it a missile launcher, a heavy projectile missile launcher, but for now we have a solid nose. That nose is going to be turned into a single missile that it can launch and then would have to be rebuilt. It has missile launchers underneath, rocket launchers underneath. It has turrets on the sides and top. It has a hangar on the bottom for smaller ships, which I will demo some of the options there. And I still need to add, if I can see here, I need to add LCD panels with scripts that tell you useful information right here so that you can pilot the ship from the inside. And if they ever add functionality to link a camera to an LCD, I can turn this into a forward view with zoom capabilities, which would be great. The tech seats have great views out the side, through the eyes, and this also is hydrogen based. This entire fleet is designed for space only, does not handle gravity well. They don't have enough thrust to handle planets. So if we head inside here, we have the main storage. Cargo, hydrogen. This one is dual thrust. It has ion as well as hydrogen. If we go through here, we've got interior thrusters. This is the first ship that I've ever tried to do interior thrusters, and I think it worked pretty well. This maneuvers pretty decently for a small capital ship. Batteries, all your basic needs for a ship to run. Gyroscopes over there on the sides. We've got connected to all the turrets on top and sides. So if we pop down, pop back up to the front here, we have exits to the sides. That's the main exit to the ship. This is a capital ship. I don't expect it to be close enough to be worried about boarding. So the main entrance is not super well guarded. It goes right to the bridge. Here we have the main hangar. This is the middle walkway in the ship, and it's the top floor of the hangar. We've got connectors up here for ships to dock. Should have 3 on the side. There we go. The lights are supposed to turn green when everything's sealed up, and then they turn red when the bottom doors are open, so that you are aware. And that should be automatic whenever the hangar doors open. Okay, and if we go down another level, in the front we have access to the gyroscopes. If you don't get stuck. I should probably make a walkway here. And this ladder leads down. Leads down to the chin, I guess, the lower neck of the fish. And here you have access to the actual hangar doors from the inside. All these connectors are to the turrets outside. We've got air vents on top of them. We got some space here. Now, this is designed for smaller ships. This will not handle a large grid. I think I can get in from the back. So we'll look at the midsection of the ship from here. Midsection near the tail here. The tail starts about 10 or so blocks that way. Here we have the large reactors powering the ship, cryopods stacked up there, med bay, and more air vents. If we climb this ladder here, more gyroscopes, more hydrogen thrusters, more batteries. That just goes up to the top level of the catwalk. And this is the main rear thrust. Large thrusters stacked on top of each other. And so, if I run back up to the bridge here, I usually do blue mood lighting for the bridge. One large thruster to the rear there. Okay, if we look from the outside, most of the outside is just armor, except for the turrets that stick out the side. There is an antenna in the center of the tail there. And I think that's it. So if we demo here, the hangar. If we open the hangar doors, we can now see inside, and we could dock ships inside. This is not designed to dock with any other ship, but it does have one connector on the bottom in case something wants to latch on from the outside. This will work on to connect to stations if those stations are, if they have a connector positioned properly. It's really difficult to land this on a flat surface. This has no landing gear at all, so it has no capability of landing on a planet anyway, even if it had the thrust for it. If we look at two, opens up the forward view. If I could link this camera to LCD screens, that'd be great, but as of right now, there is no such capability in the game. And there we go, the Swordfish Strike Cruiser. This is a large ship. It is, let's see if I can count right. This is 5.2 thousand tons, as opposed to 1.8 for the Angelfish. This is a sizable ship, and that's empty weight. Back it up here. There we go. Hop out of here. Run outside. Okay. And let's pull up the next one. This is the Crab Escort Fighter. This is a glass cannon. It's got decoys on the arms. Completely hydrogen thrust. Has plenty of hydrogen to do short range. Not much maneuvering, just kind of hangs out near the ships it's escorting and does oodles of damage with the 4 turrets. Also has 4 rocket launchers on the front in case you need to directly engage something, and also 4 Gatling guns on the front. Powered mostly by the large thruster on the back, has connectors top and bottom, has landing gears on the bottom, and also comes with beacon. I don't think it comes with an antenna. Oh no, it does. It has an antenna near the back. So this is designed as an escort for larger ships, and you would probably want to have like 20 of these escorting a larger ship. A capital ship would have like 20 of these escorting it. This could theoretically fit in the Swordfish, but there's nowhere for it to dock due to the positioning of the connectors inside the Swordfish, unfortunately. But it will dock in the Manta, which I will demonstrate a little bit how this maneuvers. This is a very maneuverable craft. Very quick. But then it's small grid. So the main issue with connecting in here is the clearance. So it cannot dock with any of the ones up there or down below. It has to connect over here on the side, directly to the hydrogen tanks. This is risky since hydrogen tanks like to explode, but you should be able to just park it right in there. You get the idea. So, in favor of not destroying this ship for the demo, I'm not going to actually dock it there, but it's a tricky maneuver, but you can do it. Launching this ship after it's been docked there is super easy. You just launch straight vertical from the crab's perspective. Also, if you want these as escorts without pilots, if you want them drones, you can either add a remote control block, or you can just dock them on the wings here, and then their turrets will light anything up as necessary and be extra firepower for the Manta. So I'm going to park this right over the left wing. And hop out. So size comparison there. Not very large. Lots of firepower, but not very much size or weight. Hardly any armor. It's full of hydrogen tanks. It will explode. This is not for a major offensive. This is for defending ships that are under attack when they're not the main target. This weighs 0.1 thousand tons, so 102 tons empty. But this doesn't really have any cargo, so it's not a big deal. This is not going to get any heavier. There is some cargo on here, I should note. Yeah, there's 2 medium cargo containers in there, which you can fill with ammo, most likely, but can also do keep a little bit of supplies for repairs. Okay, so that's 4 ships. Let's see if we can get the next one in. Next we have the Seahorse, this is the, well, not welder drone, grinder drone. This is a remote controlled ship. There is no cockpit. I've painted the grinder blue and green here to tell it apart from the next one, which is the welding drone. Basically identical, except that it has a welder instead of a grinder, but connector on the back, battery, gyroscopes. These are ion thrust exclusive. The only way to recharge these is to plug them into a bigger ship. But these are all drones. There's a camera on the front, there's an antenna on the top, and there's a remote control block somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly where it is. Shaped as a seahorse, for reasons. This was specifically designed to fit in the Swordfish. These will dock, you can dock 6 of these in the Swordfish, so you can add remote repair function to that strike cruiser with these. Although these will also dock on the sides of the Angelfish, inside the Manta, and pretty much anywhere else. They're so small, so convenient. They don't have any landing gear or anything, so you absolutely need to keep this powered, or that connector will disconnect and the ship goes wild. Okay. Oh, before I do that, let me just find, yeah, so if I go into info here, this has a mass of 7 tons. 7.5 tons. These are not heavy compared to other ships. Yeah, 7.5. Next, I remove them because they're remote controlled. I don't have a, it's kind of a pain to move them. Next we have, if I can find it, the Manta Light Fighter. This is a fighter craft shaped like the Manta. This is designed for strike operations, also a glass cannon. It's got batteries there and there. If it gets hit in the center, it's toast. This is an O2 tank, I think. Oops. That's the H2O2 generator. That can catch fire. Oxygen tank can blow. This has no hydrogen. It's ion based. This is great for hit and runs or attacks on craft that have little to no firepower, because this does not have any armor. 4 Gatling guns on the front is all it uses. Has the antenna on the back. Doesn't have a remote control block, so you can't set these in remotely. This is a very small craft. It has a connector on the back, but it's positioned such that it will not connect inside the Swordfish, I don't think. Let's take a look. Gyroscopes are set to like 50%, so that you don't whip this thing around too fast. It does not have much thrust. It does not slow down quickly. I'm trying to get it underneath here. I believe the cart... Oh, the bay is not open. That's fine. So if we look at this, it would fit in one side of this. Of course, if you wanted to use this Swordfish and you didn't like how the hangers worked, you can always redo the hangers. No big deal. You can either shift one of the sides toward the center, puts it off center, but then you have twice the hanger width. This would fit in there, but I don't know if it will dock inside. And it's difficult to test, seeing as it's not open. I'm going to go ahead and park this next to the Angelfish for size. This weighs 20 tons, almost 20 and a half. This is not very large. Very small ship. So if we back off a bit, we can see size comparisons again. And then, let me see if there's anything else that I've missed. I thought... Has it not been named? It might not be named. Yeah, it's not named. I was making... This one is totally unfinished. I was making a horseshoe crab. This is large grid strike craft with rockets on the front, decent armor on the front, not underneath. Both hydrogen and ion thrusters in all directions. Hydrogen tank there, one large cargo, and I believe it has its own med bay and cryopod. Let's take a look inside. You gotta be careful getting in here, because there is hydrogen thrusters that will cook you if this is still moving. Do not get in and out while it's moving. But that's probably a good idea anyway. Yeah, so there's the cockpit there. No medical, no cryo, just some batteries. This particular model didn't turn out as well as I'd hoped, but that's what happens. That sort of thing happens all the time. But it is armed with 2 large grid rocket launchers on the front, and it has that camera so you can see out. There's no glass window or anything. I thought I put a connector on here. Oh, connectors are on the sides. So this will dock inside the Manta, probably with no issue, in the regular hangars. So you could line up like 8 of these in the Manta, and along with smaller craft. And maybe one of these. So there you are. My whole fleet so far. This has been kind of put on hold. I haven't worked on more ships for it in a little while because I was toying around with mechanics and I didn't really have any good ideas for the next ship. I will try to put the links for all these workshop items in the detail section, so if you want to look them up afterward. And I'll probably post this particular stream to YouTube as well at the same name, just remove the underscore, and put the links there too, so you'll have access to everything. So that's the Manta, the Angelfish, the Swordfish, the Manta Light Fighter, and the Crab Escort Fighter. I don't have a published version of the Horseshoe Crab yet. It's still under construction. So, oh, and also the 2 drones, the 2 Seahorse drones. So that's 7 links, 7 ships that are on the workshop. The Angelfish actually has multiple workshop links with various color schemes. So if you don't like the gill pattern, I also have the plain blue, which was the original one, and then blue with black stripes or dark blue stripes. I can't remember. But yeah, check them out. Tell me what you think. Or just tell me what you think of this particular stream. And hopefully we'll have more for you in the future. Thanks.